Hey, hey, thanks for joining in. Let's just give everyone a few more minutes to hop on to the call and then we can probably get started. So, yeah, just make sure you're subscribed to the channel so that you can start asking questions. Feel free to, if you're already subscribed, feel free to start dropping your questions in the chat and we can go through them one by one. I'll go through some of the common questions that we get first, and then we can take questions from the chat and we can go on for as long as there are questions in the chat. So maybe just to start with some of the common questions, we did host a bunch of these Q&As over the last, I guess, 3 years or so, and most of the common questions led us to building this blog, which you can subscribe to for free. I'll make sure to post the link in the chat so that for anyone who isn't familiar with the blog, they can log onto the blog and get most of the resources they need to either land a job in DS, or if you have interviews that you are going to be prepping for in the next 1 month or so, you can find resources here that will help you land that job. So most of the common questions we sort of like build out a quick links section. So what DSA questions should I prep on? It sort of mentions focus on arrays, strings, and dynamic programming in this list. So it's a very common list called Blind 75, and these are the most commonly asked questions slash commonly tested patterns in interviews, which is why we sort of recommend going through this list. So arrays, dynamic programming, I do realize like dynamic programming is a little bit tricky to get down, but the only way to crack roles is to make sure that you understand DP, because it's sort of one of the most commonly asked questions in interviews. And the next is sort of strings. So these are the three most commonly asked data structures and patterns. So make sure that you understand them fairly well. We do have other blogs that will walk you through how exactly to prep for data science interviews as well within this platform. If you need to practice SQL questions, we sort of recommend Interview Master. We're not like affiliated with Interview Master in any way or anything. We just actually just believe that this is a good resource to prep for your interviews. So it has company specific interview questions that will help you really focus on your interviews, especially as you get close and you have like a specific company that you want to land a role for. Uh, if you need help with product sense, the videos is going to be really helpful. She walks through like a couple of a framework that you can use iteratively, and also a bunch of different actual sort of like mock interview questions as well. Um, if it's ML foundations, then we recommend the series that we've written. It walks through all the base algorithms that you need to know, and sort of like the most common interview questions within those algorithms. Like it teaches you the theory, all the theory that you would require from at least an interview perspective, if not like a coding perspective, and then it walks through some of the most commonly asked questions that would be related to that topic. So it's a really comprehensive resource in case you want to prep for your upcoming interviews. This would be, I would say, the main resource that you need to focus on, especially if you're working in data science or machine learning. Um, Same thing for case studies. We have resources that we have written up. I'll walk through the rest as well. quickly, if you're interested in A/B testing, we recommend this free course in Udacity. Again, not affiliated with this course in any way. We just really believe that like it's a good course. Statistics, again, another playlist from Emma. It walks through most of the commonly asked statistics concepts, random sampling to hypothesis testing. So this will pretty much cover most of the stats foundations you need for interviews. And finally, if you need a place to practice, PracHub is sort of what we recommend. It has like a bunch of actual recent relevant interview questions from companies. Just go to the data scientist section and you'll find a bunch, not just case study questions, but also coding questions. So yeah, this is a really good spot to check out recent relevant questions. So make sure that you check these resources out. If in case you need any additional help, there's always mentoring and resume feedback that you can get. With our resume feedback, we make sure that we provide like bullet by bullet feedback so that you can get like actionable feedback, real actionable feedback that will help you rectify your resume for immediately applying, like applying in the next day, next 2 days, but also like long term feedback that you can incorporate into the resume so that your chances of landing a role also improves over time. And finally, we have like interview books. Um, these are like two interview books that I've worked on with other creators. Decoding ML interviews is like a very popular one. At this point, you've sold close to like 1,000 copies between like Nirmal and I wrote this. So it's a collection of 100 interview questions that covers the ML foundations. And the next one is specifically focused on NLP. This is primarily because of the LLM wave. We've seen like an resurgence in interest in NLP, and it's not just building LLMs. It's about getting LLMs and agents to actually complete business relevant tasks. And in those cases, it's good to not just know how LLMs work, but have a solid understanding of NLP. So you'll find yourselves not just being tested on LLM/agents, but foundational NLP questions. And this book will cover pretty much all the different types of foundational questions that you'll get across a bunch of categories. So, yeah, essentially anything that you might need to land your next role, anything that you might need to prep for your next role, you should be able to find on BuildML. If you feel like there's a lack of resources, there's also a chat that you will be involved in when you subscribe to the Substack. So you can just drop your feedback, comments, anything that you need help with. You can just drop a question there, and we'll get back to you. So yeah, with this, we'll start taking some questions from the chat. Is it possible to get a job knowing only MLDL and NLP? Yeah, definitely. In terms of like doing a job, knowing MLDL and NLP should suffice. So in terms of jobs in sort of like this field, there are multiple. There's data science, product data science, and ML engineering, AI engineering. Now, the issue you're going to face is with interviews. Would it suffice to crack? Can you crack interviews with just MLDL and NLP? Probably not, because typically most interviewers will also test you on things like system design or DSA or SQL. So in those cases, for interviews at least, you do need to prep a bit more. And in terms of how to get started with that prep, you can just go to the section here, and whatever you feel like you're lacking on, you can just click that specific resource and it will help you get started. um, the next question, not sure, what about data analysis scientist about Power BI and Excel? uh, if you're asking whether you need those tools, yeah, or do you work with those tools, you typically needs to be familiar with some kind of dashboarding tool. It's somewhat easy to pick up. There are a bunch that are out there: Looker, QuickSight, Tableau, a few of the common ones. If you're targeting a data analyst role, then yes, knowing a bit one of those dashboarding tools, having one project around dashboarding in your resume definitely does help. Tableau would be the most popular one in my opinion, and sort of like the easiest one to build and publish actually shareable dashboards on. So it might be the best one to sort of learn and look up. Um, in terms of Excel, how much Excel do you need to know? I wouldn't say you need to know a lot of Excel. Python and SQL would be better skills to invest your time in. Excel, yeah, you might be working on spreadsheets here and there, but whatever Excel functions you need to work with, you can probably just chat GPT it. I've never seen anybody being tested on Excel either in interviews or through projects or in anything of that format. So you can probably get away with knowing like the bare minimum in Excel. Yeah. Cool. In terms of like other common questions that we get, typically it's what projects should I be looking into, or what ways do I have to increase callbacks? So we've sort of like written two specific articles just for this. This is what projects would work for applied data science roles. Like I mentioned, there are different types of data science roles. Product data science focuses on A/B testing, causal inference, and helping business make sort of no go decisions. Applied data science is a little bit more where you build models and put them in production. So this article will sort of walk through all the projects that we think would be really helpful in getting a call back. It's sort of a focus on time series forecasting, but because it really helps to showcase your ability to understand models and build statistical models. The second one is around large scale prediction, where you use PySpark and sort of build a model along that lines. This is primarily because most enterprises use a huge amount of data, and it would be good if you can actually um, work with and both build models on that data of that scale, hyperparameter tune and productionize models at that scale. So that's sort of the second project that we recommend. And the third project is just to catch the LLM agentic hype, a project around that. It can be something as simple as building a question answering tool, or it can be a little bit more advanced, focusing on RAG and evals, or even a bit more advanced, diving into either agentic system design or parameter efficient fine tuning PEFT using LoRa, QLoRa techniques like that. In terms of when we talk about callbacks, 50% of why you get a callback is your projects and your resume, and the other 50% is who's sort of referring you. So referrals is a bit more harder to control. But when we talk about our resume, we sort of emphasize a few things like writing in the problem solution impact format. If in case you have questions about your resume, feel free to use Buildamill services to get your resume reviewed. I'll drop the link to Buildamill as well in case anyone needs help with additional one-on-one mentoring or resume reviews. Um, but we emphasize a few things like problem solution impact format, making sure you understand what the difference between a business metric is and a model metric is, and also making sure that you understand how to write your bullets where you showcase ownership and not the fact that you always um, showcase what the team was able to build. Rather, you focus on what you were able to contribute within that maybe team project. So a few things this article will sort of help. I'll post the link for both articles in the chat as well, just so that you have it handy. um yep. I'll take before going into the other things, I'll take a few more questions from chat. Can you please share a resource of learning on agentic AI and Gen AI also? Daily Dose of Data Science has a lot of like really good um, content slash courses on agentic AI. So just pasted the link right now. You can check that out. Apart from that, Krish Nayak's YouTube channel is another good one that will help you just get updated on agentic AI and sort of like Gen AI. And again, just subscribe to the Substack. We also have like a bunch of articles around Gen AI and building agents. So you can check those out as well, including interview questions that you will specifically get if you're going for roles that where you're saying that you've built an agent. What questions will you get asked? So we have articles, end-to-end articles around that as well. Being a recent graduate, finishing my undergraduate in applied data science, do you think applying to data science roles is worth, as they require some experience? Yes, I do think the market right now is a little bit competitive. So the market does have a lot of candidates who has experience. um, so that means you may not have a very like significant, your chance of landing a role might not be extremely good. It really depends upon how your resume looks and what kind of projects you have on your resume as well. Like I have seen freshers land role in companies, including at like fang level companies, because they had really good research projects that they worked on with their professors. So if you have really good projects, you still do stand a chance. But I would say it wouldn't be a bad idea to maybe get into a company as a data analyst, build some experience, switch into a data scientist after that, or maybe consider doing a master's, because even though a lot of people say a master's isn't required for data science, uh, also it's also not common that you find people who don't have a master's and are data scientists. Like I would say maybe 10-20% are folks with just bachelor's degrees and are data scientists, and they typically become data scientists by maybe first starting as a software engineer or a data analyst and then switching into data scientist after a year or two of experience. So um, getting some experience could be one route, or if you would like to learn a little bit more, investing in a master's isn't a bad route either. What's the best way to get recruiter callbacks? Is applying through company career pages more effective, or does LinkedIn outreach work better? Any tips? So definitely, apart from like I mentioned, callbacks is 50% your projects and how you write your resume. So make sure that you have a good idea about what kind of projects you need to have on your portfolio based on what kind of skills a hiring manager is looking for. And secondly, make sure that your resume is sort of written well. Again, in case you have any questions about your resume, you can check out the TopMate Buildaml TopMate services page and get your resume reviewed there. But once you have your projects ready, once you have your resume written out, the next 50% does depend upon the kind of networking slash outreach that you do. In terms of how you do that on LinkedIn, again, make sure that your LinkedIn profile is clean and updated. If you need a guide around that, this guide where we talk about projects and how to update your LinkedIn will help you. I just pasted the link in the chat. Um, so make sure that your LinkedIn profile is updated, and then after that, once your LinkedIn profile is updated, make sure that when you sort of do the outreach, you do it with a system in mind. You have about 100 connection requests you can send out per week for a particular role that you feel like there is a good match for. Don't target roles that you don't have a good match for. A good match is when you have a project that is in the similar domain that is mentioned in the JD, or similar domain that hints that is hinted at in the JD. So if you have a project that matches well, then find 10 people in that company in the role that you're targeting, or a senior role, and reach out to them. Make sure those people have like some kind of activity on LinkedIn. Don't reach out to people where when you go to their profile, it will pop up a message, this person hasn't had any activity in the last 3 months. There is no point reaching out to those people. So they should have some kind of activity on LinkedIn, and then write a LinkedIn connection request. Along with the connection request, you can send a message. The message can be very direct. I'm requesting a referral for this job ID, then a PSI line project that sort of matches with that JD. That would be the way to do your LinkedIn outreach. 10 per role, 100 messages per week. Make sure that you follow that system. You should be seeing at least 7 to 8 people responding. for those 100 connection requests. If you don't see that, then we need to reassess your profile, how you written your LinkedIn profile, and how you have sort of selected your projects. Again, if you need any help with those, go to TopMate, Build ML, drop a DM, or sort of like drop your resume, book a one-on-one mentoring, and we can help you with that. um, yep, hopefully that answers that question. I think we have about 20 more minutes. Let's see how many more questions we can get through. Uh, most What's the okay? We answered that. Can you comment on the demand for data science jobs that you come across? Right now, I guess the highest demand is across two different data science role. One is product data science. This is where you have a bit of experience with A/B testing, causal inference, product sense. Again, in terms of like building product sense, you can go to the buildml page, and you'll see like here how exactly what we mean by product sense and how to sort of build that out. So those are like the three most in demand skills for product data science roles, and those are the most common roles that I would say is available in the market right now. The second most is a little bit more AI engineering slash data science roles, where the focus is on building agents and LLMs. So these would be, I think, the two most in demand skills at the moment. I do recommend still building a foundation in machine learning first, and then building interview or job specific skills, because that foundation in ML will carry you further and longer in the field, rather than just building skills that are in demand right now. Because we don't know if the agent slash LLM wave is going to last, or how long it's going to last. So build a foundation first, and then you can think about building those job specific skills. Most of the AI/ML product ML model in production would fail due to some reason, like scalability of handling millions of records, etc. I would like to learn more about building the best agentic AI models. In terms of agentic AI design, again, the system design sort of articles will help you get, or help you understand how to approach system design. And the course that I recommended earlier from Daily Dose of Data Science, that is a good course to check out if you're looking into building agentic systems. So those two should get you to the point of building sort of reliable, scalable systems to a certain extent. And within ML system design, we also have like a framework for approaching system design, in which we recommend that, hey, these are good tech blogs to check out. So make sure you subscribe to those blogs as well, and they sort of continuously release updates on how to build scalable systems that will help you build reliable systems as well. When it comes to technical interviews, the range of what questions can be quite a lot and surprising. Sometimes they present a case study, sometimes probability. How does one know how to prioritize what to learn, especially as they are uh, required to learn a wide range of things? So I would say the 20% of things that'll be help you tackle like 80% of interviews. It depends a little bit on the kind of role you're targeting. This is specifically for applied data science roles. For applied data science roles, let's say you have about a month and you're preparing for a month. I would say focus 1 hour every day on DSA. This is because most roles for applied data science will require lead code. Spend a weekend brushing up your SQL skills. Make notes. You just need to refresh your SQL before your interview. And spend another weekend going through your stat skills. This would be these A/B testing and the stats concepts. These two links will cover most of the statistic skills you need. Spend a weekend going through them, and make notes. You can refresh your notes before your interviews. And so, like I mentioned, 1 hour a day lead code, and 1 hour a day on ML system design or foundations. So 2 hours a day for interview prep, and maybe 2 weekends you're spending on SQL and statistics. So that should be, I think, a good um, 20% that you need to learn to crack 80% of interviews. What are your thoughts on analytics engineer and its ease in pivoting over to data scientist role subsequently? It's a fairly new role. I would say the JD or the requirements for that role isn't really all that clear. Right now, it seems to be somebody who's able to use LLMs, but at the same time, who's a traditional data analyst. Um, so switching over from that role to data scientist again depends upon which data scientist, product data scientist, or applied data scientist. Analysts are a little bit more statistics oriented, analytics frameworks oriented, like churn analysis, segmentation analysis, RFM analysis. You're familiar with a few frameworks and you use those to figure out what insights you can draw from the data. So that's typically how the skill sets of an analyst. If I look at the delta between analyst and product data scientist, I would say you need to pick up a bit more causal inference and A/B testing skill set. It's something you will have to pick up on your own time, and then maybe shadow other people as they're doing A/B tests or as they're doing these sort of causal inferences within your company. There are a bunch of courses out there that will help bridge that skill to a certain extent, but at the end of the day, having like something that you can put on your resume in terms of projects or actual experience at your workplace would work a lot better. Now, if you're thinking analytics engineer to applied data scientist, the delta is going to be building models and putting them in production. You can build that skill set to a certain extent on your own using projects. Kaggle is a great place to find good projects, but again, shadowing data scientists within your team, within your org, and sort of helping them as and how you can, that might be a better way, where you'll have more interesting content to put on your resume and sort of make that transition a bit easier. I would say analytics to product data scientist would be a smoother transition. Analytics to applied data scientist might be a slightly harder transition. Cool. I think we have a few more minutes. I can take maybe a few more questions. What are you? I think we covered the question. How important is the cover letter? Almost not at all. I think recruiters, whichever recruiters I talked to, they've also mentioned that cover letter isn't really required. I would say if an application does require it, spend as less time as possible on it. Just maybe whatever key projects you had, convert them into paragraphs, maybe using Chat GPT. Um, add a summary on top, add a conclusion on bottom, put three projects that you think relate well to the JD. That might be how I would approach cover letters in the current market. I don't think it's that crucial in the current market. How about if you want to switch from, say, to manufacturing data scientist to healthcare? How do I get an interview for that if I haven't worked with medical data? Again, the best bet is to do projects. Like I mentioned, Kaggle is a great source to find projects. So if you go to Kaggle, if you go in the competition section, go to the competitions that I've completed. Let's filter by reward. So this prize money you can consider as a proxy for the relevance to a business problem. So whatever, let's say, field you want to get into, let's say medicine is the field that you want to get into, just search for that and pick problems that are maybe less than 5 years old, and these would be maybe good ones to check out. The best thing about Kaggle is that if you go into the discussion section, people will talk about how they approached solving these problems. So this will give you a good idea about how you could start solving these problems. Like they won't give you the code, and it wouldn't be really ethical if they gave you the code. But it'll at least give you an idea about how to start solving these problems, so you won't have that initial inertia. So these are like really good relevant problems to work on and showcase on your resume. And if you say that, hey, I got a top 5% scoreboard score, that really indicates to hiring managers, at least hiring managers who are sort of ingrained in the data science field. It will sort of indicate to them that, hey, this is a candidate who's familiar with building quality solutions. So yeah, this could be a good way of selecting projects and adding them onto your resume so that you can bridge any gaps that you might have. This will work for any field, any kind of switches that you want to make. Cool. I think that's all the questions that we had today. Again, just to summarize, make sure that you subscribe to the BuildML Substack. Use the BuildML chat to raise any questions, any concerns that you have. Anything that we have missed out today, you can go to the chat and make sure that you drop your questions there. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel as well as the Substack to make sure that you get all the latest updates and the content. And yeah, hopefully we'll start hosting these monthly. If in case you have any questions, you can drop them during our monthly Q&As and get them answered. Thanks again for joining.